No one expected this. Not from him. Not from Yaman, the man who seemed to have everything: fame, beauty, success, and a heart that once shone so brightly it could light up a room. But lately, something feels off. Fans who have followed him for years are starting to sense it too. There's a darkness in his eyes, a quiet tension in his smile, and a distance that wasn't there before. It started slowly, almost imperceptibly. Little signs here and there. His interviews became shorter, his tone more cautious. The man who once spoke with passion about love, family, and loyalty now chooses his words carefully, as if afraid to reveal too much. And those who truly know him, or thought they did, can't help but wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. Some say it's just the price of fame. That every star reaches a point where privacy becomes a luxury. But others, they believe something deeper is happening. That behind the glamour and perfection, there's a struggle, one that Ken is fighting silently. His recent public appearances have sparked endless discussions online. "He doesn't look the same," one fan wrote. "His eyes look tired. It's like he's carrying a weight." Social media is filled with speculation. Some blame the pressure of constant attention, others point to his complicated love life, a relationship that once seemed like a fairy tale but now feels shrouded in mystery. Photos that once captured pure joy now raise questions. Why does he look so distant? Why has the warmth disappeared? Yaman has always been a man of deep emotion. Those who have worked with him describe him as passionate, protective, and intensely private. But lately, even his closest colleagues are said to be concerned. Rumors whisper that the actor has been isolating himself more and more, limiting communication, turning down interviews, and keeping his circle impossibly small. And yet, despite everything, he continues to smile for the cameras. The perfect image remains intact. At least on the surface. But behind that image lies a truth few dare to speak out loud. Something in his life has changed dramatically. Some say love is supposed to heal, to bring peace, to lift us up. But in Ken's case, it seems to have brought turmoil. The fans feel it, even from afar. They've seen the way he avoids certain questions, the way his laughter fades too quickly. They've seen the way his once open heart now hides behind silence. And that silence, it's louder than any statement he could ever make. As the world watches, one question echoes everywhere. What happened to Yaman's love story? The truth, as always, hides between the lines. Those who have followed Yaman's journey know that love has never been simple for him. Behind every smile, there has always been a touch of melancholy, the shadow of something lost, or perhaps, something that never truly healed. At first, his new relationship looked like a dream. The photos, the chemistry, the gestures, everything seemed perfect. He looked happy, confident, complete. But with time, that sparkle began to fade. People noticed the change. The man who used to laugh freely, who once spoke with pride about honesty and freedom, started to look like someone trapped in his own story. Fans began connecting the dots. The subtle tension in his interviews. The way he avoids discussing his personal life. The moments caught on camera when his expression suddenly shifts, as if he's remembering something painful. There's a sadness that lingers, something that even fame and fortune can't erase. Some insiders claim that Ken has grown increasingly protective, even defensive, about his private world. He's been seen turning down offers that would take him too far from home, avoiding collaborations that once excited him. People close to him whisper about emotional exhaustion, about how he's constantly surrounded by people but somehow lonelier than ever. One producer even admitted, he's still professional, still giving everything on set, but you can tell, something's eating at him. Others described moments where Ken seemed lost in thought between takes, staring into nothing, like a man fighting a storm no one else can see. And fans? They notice everything. They always do. They compare his old interviews to the new ones, noticing how his voice trembles slightly when asked about love. They've seen the subtle body language, the tight shoulders, the shallow breath, the way he avoids eye contact when certain names come up. What could have caused such a change? What happened to the man who once said, "When I love with everything I have"? Now, he looks like someone who gave everything, and paid the price for it. Speculations grow wilder by the day. Some say he's being controlled, emotionally, even professionally. Others think he's simply lost faith in people, tired of betrayals disguised as affection. The line between love and manipulation can be very thin, and sometimes it's only when it's too late that one realizes how deep the control runs. But here's what scares fans the most: the silence. Because silence from Yaman has never meant peace, it has always meant pain. He doesn't lash out. He doesn't explain. He doesn't deny. He simply disappears into his world of quiet smiles and rehearsed calm, leaving everyone else to guess what's really happening. And that, in a way, is even more heartbreaking, because sometimes, the loudest cries for help are the ones never spoken aloud. The transformation hasn't gone unnoticed in the industry. Journalists who once described Yaman as unstoppable now speak of him with a strange kind of worry. "He's still there physically," one of them said, "but emotionally, it feels like we've lost a part of him." And it's true. The once fearless actor, who spoke openly about love and heartbreak, now guards every word like a secret. Even in his public appearances, there's a wall. Invisible but palpable. The kind of barrier that only someone who has been deeply hurt can build. Some say this darkness began when he fell too deeply, when the line between his heart and his career started to blur. It's not the first time Ken has loved intensely, but this time it feels different. This time, it feels like he's trapped in something he can't escape. His fans remember his old motto, "I live freely, without masks." But lately, that freedom seems to be slipping away. People who work with him describe a man torn between passion and pressure. "He's still polite, still kind," one assistant recalled, "but you can tell he's constantly walking on eggshells, like he's afraid to say the wrong thing." Others have noticed that he rarely attends social events anymore, choosing instead to spend long evenings alone or quietly rehearsing late at night. Even on social media, his silence speaks volumes. Once famous for engaging directly with his fans, replying to comments, posting playful behind-the-scenes moments, now he shares only what feels safe. Perfectly polished photos. Professional updates. Nothing raw. Nothing real. The comments under his posts have changed too. They used to be filled with hearts and flame emojis. Now, you'll find messages like, "Can, are you okay? You don't look happy anymore. We miss your real smile." And perhaps that's what breaks people the most, that smile. The one that used to carry hope, energy, and light. The one that made millions fall in love with him. It's still there, but now it feels practiced. Mechanical. Like something he puts on because the world expects him to. Insiders whisper that something behind the scenes is controlling how he moves, what he says, even who he sees. A source close to one of his productions revealed, he's more careful than ever. Every decision seems to go through someone else. It's not like him. It's like he's no longer steering his own life. Fans who adore him are starting to worry not just about his career, but about his heart, about his happiness, his peace, his freedom. Because for a man like Yaman, being emotionally confined is worse than any professional setback, and yet, he endures. With quiet strength, with eyes that tell 1,000 untold stories. Still, there's one question echoing louder every day: when did love turn into something so heavy? As the days pass, the image of Yaman becomes more haunting, not because he's fallen, but because he's still standing. There's something undeniably tragic about watching a man who was once so full of light now navigating through shadows with a forced calm. Every movement, every glance, every moment in front of the camera feels like a performance within a performance, the actor pretending to be okay, while deep down, something inside him quietly breaks. Behind the glamorous magazine covers and bright stage lights, there are stories no one dares to tell. Some speak of late-night calls where Can's voice trembled with exhaustion. Others remember moments of silence so heavy it filled the room. He would stare out of a window, his eyes distant, lost somewhere between love and regret. He doesn't talk much about it, one friend revealed softly, but everyone can feel it. It's like he's carrying a love that turned into a burden. Love, the very thing that made him who he is, now feels like his greatest struggle. The passion that once defined him seems to have become the source of his pain. And perhaps that's why the world feels so concerned. They've seen this pattern before. the star who gives too much, who loves too deeply, who ends up losing himself in the process. But Yaman is not one to give up easily. Even when his heart bleeds, he continues to fight. He shows up, he works, he delivers. Yet, those who look closer can see it, the flicker of pain that appears when the lights go out. The quiet sigh after the cameras stop rolling. The small pause before he forces another smile. There's talk of him retreating from public life for a while, maybe even taking time to rediscover who he really is without all the noise, without all the expectations. His fans, though heartbroken, support him unconditionally. They flood his posts with love and encouragement, reminding him that he doesn't owe anyone perfection, that he's allowed to be human, to feel, to fall apart. One comment under his latest photo says it all. Asterisk, you've given us so much light, don't let anyone dim yours. Asterisk, and maybe, that's exactly what he needs to remember. That his worth isn't measured by headlines or relationships. That even when the world seems dark, the light he carries inside can never truly fade, unless he lets it. In the end, perhaps this is not a story about control, but about resilience. About a man who, despite every pressure, refuses to surrender his heart. Who chooses to stay silent not out of fear, but out of strength, because some battles are fought quietly, and some healing begins in solitude. As the world continues to speculate, one truth remains: no matter how dark the turn, Yaman's story is far from over. His fans still believe in him, not the image, but the man behind it. The one who dared to love too much, fall too hard, and still rise again, and when he finally smiles again, genuinely, freely, without walls or control, the world will remember why they fell in love with him in the first place. Because behind the fame, behind the silence, and behind the pain, there's still that same heart, waiting to shine again.